All right, so welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kate Beer and I'm a team leader in Canberra. This is the third workshop in our Cookidoo series and we're going to be focusing on created recipes. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into chat or come off mute. Now, can you all see my screen? Yeah, excellent. All right, so we're on Cookidoo. We're going to cover off 3 different things today. So we're going to cover off inputting a recipe manually. So that's like a recipe that you have converted yourself that you used to cook before Thermomix that you've now converted into Thermomix. We'll then cover off editing a Cookidoo recipe, and then we'll cover off importing a recipe from our recipe community. All right, so to get into our created recipes, we just go into my recipes on the top of your Cookidoo screen. And then just on the side, we hit created recipes. All right, just making sure you can all still see. Yep, cool. All right, so as you can see, these are my personalized created recipes that I've done. Now, to add a recipe, we just go into this plus sign down the bottom. We can either choose to import or create. All right, so we're going to start with creating. We're going to give our recipe a title. I'm just going to input something really basic because we don't want to be here all night importing. But I'm just going to name this one Grandma's Pumpkin Soup. All right, we just hit create. Now we can choose to upload an image. If we like, we could get one off Google, or once you've made this recipe in your Thermomix, you can take a picture and then upload it at a later date. I often don't bother, but you know, everyone's different. Now here we can choose what device we're cooking it on. So either a TM5 or a TM6. Our preparation time. So we might go, our prep time is maybe 10 minutes. Oops. Our total time might be, say, 30 minutes. So total time is preparation time and cooking time combined. And then we've got our serving size, so you can edit this. All right, we then scroll down to adding ingredients. Okay, so I'm just we're going to put in 1 large onion, and then we just hit the tick. So that bit's saved. And then we add a plus. So we're going to add 600 grams of pumpkin. And depending on how much detail you need, you being a Thermomix user, you would know that you wouldn't put, you know, huge chunks of pumpkin into the Thermomix. You would know to chop it up. So you could cut into pieces if you need that extra detail, or if someone else in the family is going to be cooking it. We'll then tick and add, and you just keep going on. So we're going to do 100 grams of carrot. We'll do some stock paste. Oops, we'll add some water. And we'll add some cream. I mean, it doesn't sound like the most amazing pumpkin soup, but hey, this is just for training purposes. I don't know if this recipe works. All right, so we've added our ingredients. We're now going to go over to here to adding our steps. Okay, so we're going to add our first step. Step 1 would be, so we're going to place our onion into the Thermomix because that's what we want to chop first. Now, because we've already got our ingredients over here and we want the scale to register once we're using guided cooking, we hit our ingredients or our scale button here and all of our list of ingredients pop up. All right, we're going to select our onion and that's highlighted. And that means when we're cooking the recipe on the TM6, we'll be able to bring up the weight for that, and that will show us how much to put into the Thermomix. So So we'll place the onion into the bowl, and then we need to chop the onion. You could have put onion over here, halved, if you needed that extra detail. Chop. So again, we want the Thermomix to tell us how long to chop it for and what speed. So we're going to set the cooking settings. We're going to chop it for, let's say 6 seconds on speed 6. Tick, done. And then we add our step 2. Okay, we need to add some olive oil, and I didn't add olive oil over here, so we can go 20 grams of olive oil. And again, we just bring up our ingredient, just scroll through. Oops. Olive oil. So we're going to add the olive oil, and then we're going to cook it. So this is where we add in our time and our heat. So we're going to go temperature. We're going to go aroma temp, and we're going to go speed 1. And then that one's done. So you get the gist. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, just sitting down inputting can take, 5 to 10 minutes, but once it's done, you've got that recipe on guided cooking forever. So here we're going to add our pumpkin. We'll add our carrot. Whoops. Carrot. We'll add everything else. What else is on there? We'll add our water. We'll add our stock. All right, and then we're going to cook that. Cook it for, say, 20 minutes at 100 degrees. And we'll go speed 1. Done. All right, now I want to show you a new feature that's recently come through is we can add a few different modes to our created recipes, whereas before we couldn't add the mode. So if we wanted to knead some bread, blend a soup, we couldn't use that, but we can now. It's it only came out like, I don't know, not that long ago. So it's fairly new. So obviously once it's cooked, we want to blend. So we'll add our cream, and then we'll blend, add cream and blend. So we can go into our cooking setting, and up here we've got, this is our manual mode. We've got our modes. We can choose from dough, turbo, blend, or warm up at this stage. So we're going to select blend. If you have a TM5, obviously you don't have the blend mode, you would just put in, say 1 minute, speed 9. So we're going to blend for 1 minute, blend mode, speed 8. And that's it. Again, you could go into more detail and, say serve between bowls with crusty bread. But I personally don't need that much detail in my own recipes because you sort of get a gist of already what you're doing. And then we just confirm that recipe. And then that's done. Here we go. And then Grandma's pumpkin soup is here ready for us to go. All right. So Megs, what do you mean by your question? Do you just want to come off mute?
Yeah, you just knew how to chop an onion, or you just knew to cook it. You put aroma. You don't pick a temperature. How do I know to do that? Or if I needed to blend, how would I know to pick what I need to pick to make a blend?
Yeah. So last week's the second workshop we did last week went through converting recipes and how to do that.
Yeah.
So I can get you the recording if you want to.
I have that.
Oh, you have it?
That was my recipe that they converted.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Our next one we're going to do is we're going to edit a Cookidoo recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Explore. The recipe I'm going to edit is it's a lemon curd tea cake. All right, so we just go into the recipe. And what we do is we just go up and do a copy and paste of the site. And then we go back into the My Recipes and we go created recipes, and then we add the recipe and we import the recipe, and then we paste it. Okay, so here it's got everything that was in that Cookidoo recipe, but now we have the option of editing it. I'm sure lots of you often change different ingredients or change certain steps to suit your own personal preferences. Well, this is where you can always remember what you've done, because I've often gone, oh, I can't remember what I did, but it tasted so good. So that, yeah, this way you always remember. So what I'm going to do to this is I'm just going to rename it. If I'm redoing a Cookidoo recipe, I'll often just put in here edit, because I know that it's my version. I've edited the Cookidoo recipe. Or for this one, I'm actually going to make this recipe gluten-free, lactose-free. So you can put like gluten-free, lactose-free, confirm. All right, so in the ingredients, we don't need to change anything here. If for this particular recipe, when you're doing it, you might, add more cooking time. All right, we're going to edit our ingredients, and I'm just going to change a couple of ingredients. So the butter, to make it lactose free, we're just going to swap that straight out for ghee. And the self-raising flour, we're going to do, we'll add 80 grams of almonds, and we'll add 70 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour. I know this works because I've done this before. I tested this swap and it was really, really good. I think it was actually better than the normal recipe, just because it had that, like, the nutty flavor. All right, and all we need to do once we've changed these ingredients here is just come over and change our steps. All right, so we don't need to do, actually, we need to add a step. So let me figure out how to do that. We'll go add, and then I'm going to change the order. So I'm going to add that to the top, hopefully. Oh, here we go. It's not working. All right, I've done this before. I don't know why this isn't working for me, but I want to make a step one because I want to mill the almonds first, but I can't get it to.
I think it just had it on the side. Those are the three little buttons, and it says change order. And I think it just moves the box up each time you click it.
Did it? All right, let's try. All right, I don't know what's going on. All right, so I want to make, this isn't step 6. We want to add our almonds. Add almonds. And mill. So we'll do 10 seconds, speed 9. Let's see if I can get this, Megs. It's not moving up for some reason.
I think you just click on it and it makes it go up one. The three little dots are on the side.
Yeah, but now they're gone. See, change order, and then I don't know. Cookidoo is not being my friend tonight. All right, well, let's just pretend that I've moved this step up to number 1, because when you do this at home, it's going to work for you.
Okay, good.
You can just go through and change the ingredients that you've changed. So this one's got place all cake ingredients into mixing bowl. So we don't even need to change anything else, because those ingredients, the scale will come up when it's when we're cooking it, and that's it. So we confirm, and now we've changed our Cookidoo recipe. So any questions about that one? Are we all good? Okay. Our last one is Recipe Community. So for those of you that don't know Recipe Community, it's what we had before Cookidoo and before we had guided cooking. And it's recipes put up there by Thermomix and by the Thermomix community within Australia. So Thermomix owners and consultants. So if you haven't checked it out, have a look. It's a really good site. And I'm loving it again because I can now use it with Cookidoo and guided cooking. So I'm just going to go over to Recipe Community. I just need you to tell me if you can see the Recipe Community screen or not, or are you still seeing Cookidoo?
No, we see the best ever scones.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to import this recipe, and all we have to do is click Add to Cookidoo. We don't need to copy and paste or anything. So yes, we want to confirm that we want to add to Cookidoo. All right, and it brings over the image. So you can edit that if you want to, and you can edit the name if you want to as well. Now with the Recipe Community, it doesn't come over like it did with Cookidoo with all the steps in place. It just depends on how the person that inputted the recipe has done it on Recipe Community. So I find you've just got to sit here and just sort of go through it to sort out and space out the steps. We don't need to do anything with the ingredients, but we do need to edit the preparation steps. So what I do is I just keep this step and I add, and then I just do a lot of copying and pasting and adding of ingredients. So preheat oven to 200 degrees. I do a copy and a paste, and then I save that. Step 2. So we want to place the butter and the flour. So we want that to be step 2. And what we want to do is go into here, because we want our scales to show us how much to input of the flour and the butter. We go into our ingredients and we select the 400 grams. So now that's highlighted. So that will show up on our Thermomix screen to weigh in that much. If you don't do this, otherwise you have to go back to the recipe ingredient at the start and look at how much you have to add. So again, you just have to sit here for a few minutes to edit, but then it's done for every time you want to cook this particular recipe. All right, and then we're going to go 10 seconds, speed 9. So 10 seconds, speed 9, done. And then we can just sort of delete the steps as we go. Done. Add. All right, again, place sugar, egg, and milk and cream and mix. All right, again, you would do the same thing, add the sugar, add the egg, add the milk, input the time. And then we need mixture for 30 seconds. So this is where we enter that mode again as well. So into our scale, whoops, wrong one, into our blade, over to modes, and we're going to knead it. So we're going to pick dough. And how long did it say to knead for? I can't remember. 30 seconds. And then you can, you know, copy over the rest of the steps, how to roll them out, put them on your tray, and then pop them into your hot oven. Once I've sort of edited all of the steps, I would then delete this step here. So delete step, and then you'll have all your steps set out there for you, ready to go. You can add tips. I feel that something's wrong with my Cookidoo tonight or something. Oh, no, here we go. Nothing's wrong. It's just me. User error. Here we go. So we can scroll down and we can add hints and tips if we wanted to as well. You know, so you might sometimes like to use this recipe as a savory scone. So you could put, add, I don't know, 100 grams of cheese in step 1. And then I'll continue recipe as normal, leave out sugar. Done. So does that make sense? Yep. Excellent. There's something else that I want to show you as well. So done, because I can't show you over on the Thermomix how it works. But in your created recipes, if you go over to here, just on the left-hand side, you can learn more about created recipes, and there's video tutorials. So we've got here how to create the recipe, how to import a recipe, which I've just shown you, how to edit a recipe, but how to cook on the Thermomix TM6. So there is a little video that you can watch. I'm happy to play it for you now if you like. Yes, no? Yeah, okay. We'll do a little play. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to. Actually, there's really no sound to it. It just has some music. So I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. So you can see it looks a little bit different to the normal guided cooking, but it's still very, very easy to use. Okay. So I'm just going to stop sharing and just check in to see if there are any questions after that. Hopefully you have a better understanding of how to work the created recipes. I might just stop the recording and then we can just have a little chat.